Hi, everyone. Hey, welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here for our Sunday Q&A on the Course in Miracles non-dual translations. I'm happy to see all of you today. And we're looking at day 16 in the Course in Miracles. I have no neutral thoughts. This is one of my favorite lessons, because it and the Course says this, it is the idea of, in time and space in a relative sense. Cause and effect is very much in play. And this is why I have no neutral thoughts means all thoughts have power. What I give my attention to is going to, and this is just like the laws of attraction, whatever I give my attention to energetically or thought-wise, even if it's in the background, the unconscious mind, it has power and it will manifest the experience that I'm afraid of, that I don't want. It'll manifest that experience because we are attaching I am that I am consciousness to whatever our thoughts, feelings, experiences, or the vibration that we're hanging out in. It's like we're this great big antenna tower, and whatever emotional experience is going on, we're transmitting this out into the universe and saying, I want more of this. Give me more of this. And if it's fear, we get more, or we get the manifest experience that the fear is afraid of. We'll attract that. It's the laws of attraction in action. And that's why it's one of my favorite lessons, because it doesn't mean that we're bad. It just means that when we rest our awareness on the experience, we're shining a light on the experience. And this is why I say, don't touch it. Don't lean into it. Don't log in to the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions. Just welcome them. Just love them and welcome them. And the idea of enveloping them with our holiness is a real experience. We actually have the power to envelop it with the love of God, which is our true self. And we're going to take questions until we don't have any questions. We have a raise hand feature. Please use it, and we'll get started as soon as I see hands go up. In the meantime, if you just rest as awareness, rest as the awareness of love's presence. This is a great, great practice to rest in awareness of experience. Any idle time that you have, any extra time that's on your hands, I used to, and still do, if you're sitting at a stoplight, just allow that, instead of naming and labeling and saying, oh, I didn't know that was here. Oh, look at that place over there. Instead of doing that, just be aware of all of the experience. Be aware of the body, mind, thoughts, feelings, emotions. Just be aware of it. Step back just a little bit and allow awareness to sort of take over. And it looks like Connie has her hand up. Connie, would you unmute your mic, please? How are you?
Hi, very well. Thank you. It's lovely to be here. I have two questions. Number one, I started it late, and I know it says don't skip ahead or only do one a day specifically. So my impulse is to, is it okay to go to lesson 16, even though I'm on lesson 2, to be with you in this conversation?
Oh, yeah. What I would do is wherever you, I would, if you came in on lesson 10, I would just go 10, 11, 12, 13, and then go back and pick up those other lessons. But start where you start and then just go back when you have some extra time and you just want to just casually look at lesson one. And yes, the rules, the rules say no more than one lesson a day. It's really training us to be patient, to allow the lessons to do their thing, and but we can play with the rules a little bit.
Okay. And
Yeah.
my second question is, and I don't know how anyone else has found this, but particularly like in lesson 1 and 2, where, you say, I have this thing has no meaning for me. Well, for me, it's very easy to do with objects around, but then when I go to my dogs, and I'm like, it's very hard for me to even say it because they do have such meaning for me. So I'm wondering, I'm just curious if anyone else has that issue, or is that something you still like when you say this has no meaning for me? Does that include your live beings around you?
Well, this is training us to be the self. This is training us to see the contrast difference between the personal self identity and the awareness of the personal self identity, because your true self is what it's speaking to when it says nothing I see means anything. It's speaking to both. It's speaking to the perception of the person, nothing I see with the body's eyes, and the interpretation that I've given this experience. Nothing I see as a person means anything to the truth, because the truth is. It's love just is. So it's training us that we're not the body mind, we're not the person. And when it says nothing I see means anything, it means in the sense of awareness. Awareness doesn't have labels. Your true essential self, love, has no labels, right or wrong, good or bad, no body mind attachments. So when it says nothing I see means anything, it means the I of I am.
Okay.
Nothing but the personal self, it means our dogs, our family members, our children, our homes, our cars. It means a lot to that one. So just go along with these lessons for now. There's a more advanced way of seeing, which is the awareness of the experience. This is why I call these lessons the awareness lessons. You think you're doing workbook lessons. You think that you're following the course, and it's training the mind to undo. It's using the ego to undo itself, and it's a mind training set of workbook lesson exercises. It's training us to step back from the personal self identity, and eventually, when it gets to about 75 and even up to 100, it's still training us to see with what the Course calls Christ vision. And the non-dual world, and often in the Course it talks about the use of awareness. We're removing the blocks or the obstacles to the awareness of love's presence. So the awareness of love's presence is what you are. The awareness of love's presence is not what Connie is, but the awareness of all experience is on always. It's on first, it's on always, and you cannot have an experience that awareness isn't there. In fact, you wouldn't even know you had the experience if awareness wasn't there, and then communicating, the mind was receiving that communication from awareness and saying, "Oh, this means this." So it's always awareness in the background. It's always the blank screen of awareness before the movie of Connie is played, or you could say it's the pristine, clear blue sky before any clouds come into that space, and you could call clouds thoughts, feelings, emotions, experiences, beliefs, body suit identifications. Your dog is a passing cloud, your children are passing clouds, and what is aware of all of those experiences has no attachment to any of the experiences. However, Connie very much has an involvement with the experiences. And what we want to try to establish is that something sees the activity of Connie and judges not, doesn't judge it. It's resting in that pristine, perfect awareness that has no commentary, no label, no good or bad. It's this pristine awareness, sees the activity of Connie and judges not. And that is you. That is the self that's in the background all the time. It just kind of zoom back, and it's always seeing Connie's judgment, Connie's thoughts, Connie's feelings, Connie's worries, Connie's ideas that are always seen by this pristine background experience. And that's how when we're established in that understanding, we see the activity of the world, and resting in awareness, we judge it not. That's how we let go of our attachment to judgment, to judging things.
Got it. Thank you so much. That really helped.
You're welcome. Good. Mona, would you please unmute your mic? And if you can turn your video on, turn it on.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
How do we not judge when it feels so personal? And do other people, like mothers, have the power to I am on us? Because sometimes I sense that I may be in a good place of awareness or feel that I am, but then judgments of others, especially close as a mother, could feel so detrimental to my well-being. Like her worries or her concerns impact me. And
I think I missed the first two words. Did you say your mother?
yes.
Okay.
So do others have the power to I am on us? So if others are dictating a sense of worry or fear onto us, I guess I go into protection, but I don't know if my question makes much sense. Are you following me?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Can you be a little more clear? Can you tell me like what you mean?
I often feel impacted by other people's judgments, particularly my mom's. And I'm efforting to separate myself from that.
Right.
Because it feels like she's using those I am statements and putting them on me, which I know don't belong to me because they are full of worry or concern or fear. So I guess I'm navigating that and wondering how this lesson might help me get to a place of awareness where I'm not judging her for judging me.
Uh, well, it does have a layering. It does have a layering effect. And
Okay.
the good news is that you don't actually have to concern yourself with what she's doing.
Even if
You,
she's personalizing it to me?
oh yeah, it's you. Yes, because what you want to do is you want to see the feeling. You want to see the feeling that Mona has,
Okay.
and leave mom or brother, father, associate, leave them over there. Just see what this experience is occurring for Mona, and don't judge that. Don't just see the experience of Mona. Mona's getting triggered. Mona's feeling defensive. Mona's seeing that she's judging this person, mother, brother, father, whatever. Just be aware. Your safety lies in your defenselessness, right? That's what that means. Is your safety or your unattached position of love and presence and the peace that you and happiness that you seek, it stands pristine, untouched, and sees the activity of Mona. Doesn't matter where it came from, but it sees the activity of Mona, and it doesn't lean into it. It doesn't log in, doesn't touch it. And when I say don't touch it, I mean it sees the activity, and in the beginning, it may say internally, "Oh, what's Mona doing now?" Or "Oh, look at Mona, she's judging." So that is seen, and when you learn how not to log in, then that energy comes back into the spotlight that's spotlighted on it. It comes back into love's presence. It's like melting an ice cube in warm water. It just sort of melts back into beingness, and Mona will stop projecting that experience onto whoever seems to be out there, and that will be divested. But your only concern is, what's Mona doing? Are you a Course in Miracles? You're a Course student, right?
I mean, not heavy, deep.
Okay, so there is a line in the Course that says the sole responsibility of a miracle worker, the sole responsibility of one who is awakening to the essence of love's presence. You're doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
And you can't help, but do that. Everyone's doing that in
Right.
in some kind of way, but
Even my mom.
yes, everyone. And
Yeah.
the sole responsibility of awakening beings is to accept the atonement for oneself, or to accept the I am presence, accept awareness for yourself. And there, when you learn and understand that brings you to the place of the no judgment zone. That brings you to a place where you no longer judge, and all of a sudden you're living in the experience of peace and happiness. You're living in inner peace. You're living as the presence of I am.
Mm-hmm.
And with that experience comes wisdom. It comes, things people can, like that old thing, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names can never hurt me. We used to say that as kids.
Yeah.
That's a true statement. What we are is untouched by any anything out there. And you will come to a place where Mona isn't even, things that used to be bothered, that familiar relationships would say or do, that pretty soon they're not even there. And you know what happens? The saying and the doing stops happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like Barbara, would you unmute your mic, please?
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm going to ask the other half of that question. As a mother, or the other side to that question, as a mother, it is often very difficult to stay neutral to what our children are doing. And at what time, when does one step back and say, I'm not going to interfere, I'm not going to make suggestions. That soul, that child of God, has to find its own way. But as a parent, it's hard to find that spot when to step back. That is the first question I have.
That's a good question. And so I'm gonna give a similar answer, because in a different way, because Barbara is not the one that sees what Barbara is doing, right? There's something that sees Barbara's activities, right? Is that your experience?
Well, sometimes yes, and sometimes it is Barbara who's seeing her child or her children in a situation where they're obviously suffering. I know as an observer that I have to let them grow. However, as a parent, you're walking that fine line very often between, should I let them slip, or should I, grab them before they slip?
Yes, yeah, I totally get that. And the idea that I'm presenting or proposing is that, and I feel that we all as parents, or in any capacity that we're in as parents, or whatever we do in life, being a parent, I think, is the biggest responsibility that we have, coming into adulthood, as with children. And then when they get older, they do crazy things like we did. But looking at it through the mother's eyes or the father's eyes, we're reacting from a place of our own learning, the way we were raised, our beliefs, all of these different things that come in the mix, and our own projections about everything that we, like these meaningless thoughts showing me a meaningless world. We're attaching our identity to our reaction to this experience. And what I'm saying is, don't try to make decisions from there. First and foremost, like I said to Mona, to the sole responsibility of one that is awakening is to accept the awakening for yourself first. It's like putting the oxygen mask on you, and then who's with you. So what I'm saying is, when the experience occurs where your child is doing something, check in with where you are. Where am I in this? And watch the activity of Barbara from a place of holiness, from a place of resting as awareness, being aware of the experience, and try to just establish your experience as awareness with no judgment. Try to establish your experience, because if you jump in and respond, you have you've jumped into the bodysuit and you're responding from there. Whereas if you pause and you rest as awareness, then that will absorb the energy of Barbara's upbringing. That will absorb the energy of what Barbara thinks this thing is for, this interpretation. It absorbs that, and the I am presence will then communicate in a way that Barbara now will know exactly where to go and what to say to the child that will be perfect for everyone, especially, and it may not, and it may be the same thing, but it will be divine intelligence that will give the wisdom to Barbara, because she's no longer, it's that workbook lesson that says, I will step back. It's 155. I will step back and let him lead the way, but it's I will step back. Barbara will step out of the way, and aware presence, this pausing as awareness will open the space, and Barbara will then be she'll be communicated from that space. And then it may be, you stop that. Or it may just say, hands off the wheel, don't touch this activity. They'll find out for themselves. But it will be coming from a place of certainty. It will be coming from a place that's not emotionally charged. It'll just, and whoever is being spoken to will see, feel, and hear the response of something that, wow, that didn't sound like mom. It'll be something that that resonate with, and it'll be that perfect thing to say. Yeah.
Can I ask a second part of that question? You have mentioned also to get into that place of no judgment, to be untouched by anything. But again, that's very difficult, I suppose, because within a family, within people that you love, you want emotion. You want to show how much you care, how much you're disappointed, you're saddened, you're enlightened, you're ecstatic. Emotions come in humans, between humans. So I sometimes am at a loss at how to be neutral and yet still share all those emotions.
I could re-say what I just said, but I'll also say,
I understand. Yeah.
Those emotions are egoic driven, and they're mostly based on my interpretation of this experience and what this means to me. And usually emotions are fear-based, and we want someone to know how this makes us feel because that's a manipulator. So all of those emotions aren't actually, they're not, that's the old paradigm for raising children. If I was to raise my children today, it would be a different parent raising the children, my three children. And because I raised them based on manipulation, fear. If you don't do this, this is going to happen. And that's just not raising them from the same place of love's presence. And it sounds like, oh my God, can you really do that? I think you can. I think you can. I think it would be more difficult. The difficulty would be in how to do that with a partner, because you have a partner that's in the equation. So in that place, I don't know. I think that would be a more difficult part of the equation than just what I would do. But again, it'd be just like what I said to Mona, that when you when you have many players, it's really only you that you're working with. Even though you have children, you have spouses, you have situations, it's still you looking at you and dealing with that. And that will have an impact on all of the actions, all the activities of the personal self of you that's only looking for, it's looking for inner peace, and it's looking for wisdom that is not going to ignite more conflict.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Hi, Pamela. Would you unmute your mic, please? Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for these teachings. And my question is, where does morality fit in the place of no judgment?
It doesn't belong. Morality is it's a human rule-based characteristics in order to that we use to, and it's been helpful that we have morality. It's been helpful that it's established because it keeps people from hurting other people and being bullies and all that kind of stuff, and just not being appropriate. But the two are they don't work together. In the no judgment zone, there's absolutely it's this place of awareness that we found last week. It's the awareness of love's presence. It's pure love that is that's closer to us. It's the closest thing that we have connection with. It's closer than our breath, because awareness or love is aware of the breath, right? When Pamela is breathing, there's an awareness of that breath, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So there's an awareness of the breath. There's an awareness of all sensations in the body, of all the body's activities. So the awareness, which is the same as love, awareness is aware of all of these activities before any activities happen. And awareness is aware of thoughts that are good or bad. So awareness is aware of thoughts before they become judged as good or bad. There's just a awareness of the thoughts, and then there's a social belief system. There's a personal self-identity that's put an interpretation on this experience, and it's called it good or bad, right or wrong. But before the mind is involved, it's only just happening. It's just experience happening. And it goes with that question that I had for you last week, that when I said, without memory, without the use of memory, tell us about yourself. Well, there's nothing to say, right? So without the use of memory, we're in the no judgment zone. And that is a primary location to be established before the mental activity that rises out of what is aware of activity. So we want to be established in the awareness of activity. What is aware of activity? Bring it in there, and just see the judgment, see the good or the bad, see the right or the wrong, see the commentary, and just just for a moment, just as an experiment, if you want to come to a place where you're living your life in harmony and flow, in not judging and reacting to things that come in and cause you to be emotionally charged. You want to be established as awareness, and then bring the activity of Pamela into that space, established as your essential true nature. And then Pamela will be imbued. She'll take on the qualities of love's presence, and Pamela will be responding from a new place, and it comes with morality. It's not judging it as not being moral or not being right or wrong. It is imbued with the qualities of what's in harmony with all things. And so whatever comes out of Pamela's mouth to say or do, or even to be active in life, it's going to have imbued with it the qualities of morality without calling it that.
Yeah, I guess I just don't agree with that. I just feel like that without some sort of practice of morality that goes with living in pure essence or whatever, that it's easy for a human to veer off and to let a part of their brain tell them that what they're doing is right, or what they're doing is okay, when they're actually doing harm.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with that. I mean, I don't agree that I'm off, but I agree that that is the temptation, is to follow the line, to follow the idea that if we don't have morality, that the world it just wouldn't have order. And I think that's true. I'm not saying that we need to say just not be moral, because, and also the moral compass, if we're not established in this primary understanding, the moral compass is going to be off.
Yeah.
And we're gonna think we're 100% right and be 100% wrong. So I agree with that. What I'm saying is to keep, I mean, if there's an interest in being inspired perfectly for all of your decisions, if there's an interest in the movement, in living in inner peace and flow, so that Pamela is inspired what to say wherever she is in life, without you. I mean, at first, I mean, most of us, I look at things and I say that's not appropriate, or I'm also living in a place that is watching what Bill does, and without judgment. So we end up embodying, integrating the experience of our Christ nature, of awareness, the awareness of love's presence, and we're still here in a bodysuit, operating, making decisions, having preferences, and at the same time being established as the awareness of love's presence, the embodiment of Christ consciousness. So you don't lose the moral compass. It just becomes inspired from a different place, and it feels, sometimes you'll, how sometimes you'll, like, I think it was Barbara was talking about her children, and I raised my children that way too, where you just, you think you need to tell them, well, the consequences of this. You're going to be in trouble if you do this. You're going to get this, and that's the way I raised my kids. So you have appropriate conversation with people. If you guilt someone into acting a certain way, you're using guilt as a tool to manipulate someone's activity. That's coming from a different place, and you're left saying, wow, I wish I hadn't said it that way, or I wish I said it different. It comes back on you, where if you're coming from a place that's inspired with love, it's done.
I see. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm just trying to figure out what this is, because I'm new here and I've been around since August, and I'm just trying to figure out what this is and how it fits in or doesn't fit in, or with other spiritual practices, and I felt that, like doing, meditation, like I don't want to meditate for 14 lifetimes, of course, to get to a certain place, that I do like this quicker seeming way. However, there's stuff that goes with that, like the Eightfold Path, which keeps me on a path of morality while I'm getting to a place of I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
I do understand that, and what I'm trying what I'm presenting is an idea that the Course in Miracles is pointing to, and the non-dual path is that if you're established as your essential self, as a primary location, then all of these other things that you do, everything that you do in life, will be harmonized from that place that's unchanged by all experience. Wouldn't you want to be in a place that's established as with the certainty and presence of inner peace in every decision that's made?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be pushed and pulled by every emotion and thing that happens, like a whatever. But I also don't want to not have any emotion, and that doesn't, I also don't want to be devoid of emotion as to not be pushed and pulled.
Well, and you find yourself where you're aware of the emotions, and wisdom leads through that. It leads wisdom. The wisdom of pure presence leads you through the experience of emotions without suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And emotions don't stop, but you're no longer attached to them leading.
Mm-hmm.
Our emotions do a lousy job of leading us. Often we can use them to manipulate people, if we cry in a certain way, and it can be oh yeah, they're good, this is going to be a good one. And we can use it to manipulate people, and that's the way we've conditioned ourselves. I would much rather come from a place that's just and I don't know what I'm going to do or say next. I don't want to be, I want to be compassionate, and I want to be responsive with love when people are hurting. So I'm resting in that essential nature, knowing that the essential nature of myself is the same as this other one's self, and that true nature will inspire Bill what to say that would be the most helpful. So and I know this is available for all of us to come from this place, this essential self, and live in these bodysuits as love's presence, and not have to lose our moral compass, not have to, we don't have to be oming. We can. We don't have to meditate, but we can, and it's a cool thing because it often gives us establishes a quiet stillness that we often are just not taking the time for, or we're distracted away from by the objects of experience. So it just is a different way of living in the world, not letting the world's activities pull and push and manipulate our human experience.
Mhm. Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Great questions, Pamela. Just be easy on yourself, gentle, and you've been doing this for a little while, and this is a life journey experience. You want to be gentle on yourself. Don't try to know it all in 1 year.
Yeah.
So just go easy on yourself.
I have been doing it for a little while, but I think I said this before. It's not my first rodeo,
Yeah.
so I'm not completely unfamiliar with these concepts. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Okay, looks like there's a comment from Grace. Bill, when you walk the talk of A Course in Miracles, you receive immediate feedback when you go off course. I had that experience yesterday when I gave my opinion on something, but in hindsight, it wasn't given with as much finesse as it should have been. Afterwards, when I thought about it, it hurt me more that perhaps the person to whom I delivered the message, so that I just looked at this thought, did not touch it, and put it on the altar. Yeah, that's your name is Grace, and that's also Grace. I agree. Yeah. And Linda Joy, would you unmute your mic, please?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, Linda Joy. Good morning.
I have not shared much in the last year because I'm going through such a transition. This is my probably 5th or 6th time back to Course of Miracles. And I feel like when I share, even I shared last week, and I just beat myself up for what I said afterwards because it sounded so stupid. So, I mean, I'm such a critic of myself. And I wanted to share this morning because I had an awareness. I've been through the Lisa's 40 day. I've been through the Living in Love. I've tried to do too much, I think, in this past year. But if I learn to pause, rest in God, and I've taken on some of my favorite lessons that you and Lisa shared and that have really touched my heart, I find that I am in peace much more often than I ever have been in my life. And I want to share an experience of awareness I had this morning. I woke up and I checked my phone really quick to make sure I had everything set for this morning. And I saw something in the news that in the past I would have said, oh, great, I'm glad that player got hurt. We're going to do that much better. I've turned into a basketball fanatic fan, which is because of COVID. I would not normally be doing that probably. But you know what? I found myself saying, oh my God, he got hurt. And I felt it in my heart. And, I've done some of this saying I love this person, like with, some of our favorite politicians. I've worked with that and not felt it. But this morning, I felt this so deeply in my heart that I said, wow. I'm learning to pull everyone into my hoop of love, or my, the circle of love. And it feels so good. It really does. And the reason I forced myself to share today is because there's a lot of newcomers in here. And I have been, since I came into AA in 79, I have finally returned to Course in Miracles as a place that I want to spend my time today. And I've gone through a lot of growth and teachers and whatever, and I have learned that it takes patient, persistent practice. I hated it when my teacher told me that years ago. I thought, oh, that sounds so boring. Patient, persistent practice. But Bill, you know what I know today? If I want to spend more time in peace and joy, I'm going to have patient, persistent practice in my life and rest in God more often and let go. Ask, get up in the morning and say, oh, what is it? What is mine to do today? What is mine to do today? And try to let go of any other stuff that, I feel I need to control. But anyway, thank you for being here. I am totally in love with your lessons. My first year last year of doing the lessons every day, but you helped me a lot. And anyway, it's learning that coming from gratitude just makes such a big difference in my life. If I can wake up and just be grateful for where I am and for all that's happening for me and to me and all my lessons, life is good. It really is.
Yeah.
And thank you.
You're
Thank you to
welcome.
you and Lisa and the whole crew, Cindy and everybody. I just am so grateful for what you do.
Thank you, Linda Joy. I'm grateful for all of the team that we have that supports so many that are on the path, and I love what we do. We get to share our experience of how these ideas can change your life forever. You can have a new experience, and you can, I was a Christian. I followed Christianity as a born again for many years, and I just wanted to do the things that Jesus was doing, and now I'm, after all these years, what he was doing isn't it wasn't what we thought. It was this is what he was teaching his disciples, and this is what the idea was how to live in these bodysuits and know that I and the Father are one, that we are love's presence. And there's a way to live in this world and not be of the world. And I think this is the big paradigm shift that's occurring. And this is the Great Awakening. That's what that's the way the Course puts it. But I see that is what's happening. We're learning how to live in this world under a different construct. And not be attached to the construct, but to be the I am that I am while living in this bodysuit experience. And I'm happy that I've had that similar situation where when Lisa and I watch football games, we love to watch football. But we watched the last, like the playoff games. But when we watch a football game, we want both teams to win. One guy will catch a pass. Oh, look at that pass! Oh, that's awesome! But we might be for the other team, but we found that we don't take. You just don't really have sides because all of those beings are part of you.
Yeah. And the other part of that was each of us has had such a unique journey that we can't compare. I mean, we cannot expect something to come to us because it came to someone else or someone did it this way, so that's going to work for me. And I really think that we are all beings of light, but we are all very unique beings of light. Yep. And we have to untangle ourselves in our own very unique individual ways. And,
well, we're all being drawn to what is specific for us.
Yeah.
So, it's like I was saying, in the beginning that we are a communication device, not the bodysuit, but the vibration of God's presence that we are is a communication device, and that which this one needs, that vibration is going out and it's being answered
Yeah.
24/7 for exactly what Bill the bodysuit needs for the to know more of the experience of awakened being.
Yeah.
And communicating that, whatever is helpful for me to communicate this to our audience, is coming to me from all different ways, because that's what the audience has transmitting out and saying, this is what we want. This is what this bodysuit needs.
Yeah.
So it's all we're all living in the one mind of pure presence, or the one essence of pure presence.
Yeah.
The one mind of God.
I know I'm divinely guided today. And I know that if I can get still and listen, I will know what I need to do. But so often I can't take that time to be still. And
Well, didn't you say that you were pretty critical on yourself?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So the only thing that's necessary with that, Linda Joy, is just to be aware of Linda Joy, the critic, and let her do and be what she is doing, and without any, from that place, that step back a little bit, and then that will have a melting in effect also.
Yeah. Loving myself, I know, is my biggest lesson that I'm here to learn right now. Yeah.
Okay, it's good to see you. Hi, Misako. Welcome. Can you unmute your mic, please?
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I don't have a question, but I do have an acknowledgement for you, Bill, and all the people that have participated today. Sometimes I have joined other study groups and discovered for me that they have a tendency to talk about ideas and concepts. And for me, it doesn't work that well, because unless I could apply these ideas and into my life, doesn't mean anything. The scientists and psychologists all tells us that the way that we can connect to each other, it's really talking from the heart, is about having the ability to take something and apply it in our personal life. And so I heard so much of that, and I am so grateful. And I've learned a lot more of clarity and what the message was for this week's. The lessons is really about the ability to distinguish this, the awareness, the witness that we are. And while I was engaged in the conversation, I thought of a ball, just so that I can have some point of reference. So that ball is our mind. And so around the ball, we have these surveillance cameras, right? And thoughts appear inside of that ball. Experiences, emotions, ideas, everything that we experience shows up. And the experience is part of us, but what we're talking about for these lessons is the camera. It's just being able to observe like a scientist. Oh my God, what is this? What is this stuff? Right? And so that was very powerful for me. Yeah.
Oh,
So, thank you.
That's wonderful, Masako. I like the image that you made for the metaphor, because that's it just helps you to see to have your own direct experience with these ideas. And it is very true that concepts are a good starting point, but you really want to be established in your own direct experience. And this is what makes it this is what makes it direct. This is what makes it lasting, and this is what gives you the clarity of your own understanding, not based on what other people say or concepts that are read, but it's something that is a resonant knowing that is imbued with the direct experience. And that's why I always point people to the awareness experience, because this is where everyone's experience is direct, and it's yours. It's not based on something that I said. It's something that you see and feel and know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for being here for our Sunday Q&A. This has been awesome for me. I've enjoyed all the questions and the dialogue. It's just really great. And this is there's a line in the Course in a couple of places where it says once you understand the light, or once you go into the light, once you go outside of time and space and experience God, what God is, bring that truth, bring that light back with you and share it with others. And that's what this experience is. It's by invitation. We're not, I don't agree with evangelizing or trying to proselytize people, but we're sharing this light experience, and you all are sharing it with me as much as I am with you. And thank you for being here. And I'll see you next week if you're here. Bye, everyone. Have an awesome week.